Episode 112 of the HHH Racing Podcast is brought to you by the Adelphi Racing Club. Adelphi is a racing club of like-minded people who enjoy horse racing and the camaraderie of being a part of something bigger than themselves. It's a true community. Adelphi's founding partners have all owned horses and other partnerships and syndicates as well as their own, and the overachieving goal with Adelphi is to blend the benefits of solar ownership with the thrill of the partnership experience. Adelphi offers an interactive ownership experience with real-time access to other partners, trainers, bloodstock advisors, and other members of the team. Adelphi partners receive frequent multimedia content on their horses, including videos, photos, and multimedia. Adelphi has an exciting class of yearling prospects by horses such as Street Sense, Lauban, Frosted, and Taprit, and will be launching a brand new claiming and private purchase partnership very soon if it's not out already. Please make sure you join the club. And now, let's start the show. Good evening and welcome to the HHH Racing Podcast, episode 112. I'm your host, Howard Kravitz. Thanks for joining us tonight on an abbreviated edition of the HHH Racing Podcast. But even though this is going to be a shorter version tonight, only about 35 minutes, I have some very exciting news and a fantastic show planned for you. So thanks for joining me. Please make sure you subscribe if you've not subscribed already. I did a little research and I saw that about half of you that watch or listen to the show are not subscribers. So while I greatly appreciate all of you that have subscribed, there are many of you that watch or listen to the show that have not subscribed. So please make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Hit that notification bell so you know when new content will arise. And of course, smash that thumbs up button, which will tell YouTube viewers that this is a great show to listen to. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter on my name tag there, at HKravitz. And also you can email me, hkravitzhorse@gmail.com. You can see that on the scroll in the bottom. It'll be a very exciting show next week. Next Thursday, Big Pod. We're going to be covering a huge day at the fairgrounds. It's Louisiana Derby Preview Day. They have multiple stakes action. And also, our wonderful friend from overseas, Davey Lane, fantastic punter from the UK, will be with us. I'm not sure if he'll be live or taped, but he'll be with us for sure next week to preview the Saudi Cup, which is going to be a fantastic race. A lot of excellent horses from the U.S., Mandaloon, Midnight Bourbon, a few others, and also Mishrif from overseas and some other very good foreign invaders coming in. It's going to be a fantastic Saudi Cup. So that'll be featured next week on our show. If you don't know, you can listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts now. So please make sure you check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you don't have a chance to watch us on YouTube, please make sure you check us out there. The Race Day blog. You know about that, folks. The information you can see there on the screen. And if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, please go to the YouTube channel and check out how you can subscribe to the Race Day blog. The link is at patreon.com, patreon.com/HHH Racing Podcast, one word. Patreon.com/HHH Racing Podcast. You can find out how to subscribe to the Race Day blog. We're going to be doing a new segment today about the Race Day blog, and you'll find out why it's such a profitable experience for you. Of course, I'll be on national TV, as many of you know, in April. I'm very excited about that, April 24th. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, we are not going to be doing a handicapping segment. It's a very sort of slow weekend, to be honest. There are not a lot of graded stakes this weekend. The Eclipse Awards are happening tomorrow night. Again, we're filming this here on Wednesday night, um, a little bit a day early. The reason why we're filming Wednesday is because tomorrow night, Thursday, are the Eclipse Awards, and I don't want to bump into those. So, and it's also sort of a slow week this weekend. For those of you that subscribe to the Race Day blog, of course I'll be sending out a blog. Are you kidding me? The blog's been fantastic. I've been on fire for several weeks now. We'll talk about that. So, of course, there will be a Race Day blog sent out on Saturday. But tonight on the show, I do not have any guests, and we're not going to be doing any handicapping. But do not change that channel, so to speak, because I have some very, very exciting news I've been teasing out on Twitter. We also have a lot of people watching live. Thank you if you're watching live. Please make sure in the live chat you ask me some questions because part of the show tonight is Ask Me Anything. Do me a favor, don't post any questions yet. That segment will be coming up in a little bit later in the show. But come up if you have not thought of some horse racing questions. It's going to be Ask Me Anything. You can ask me anything, betting strategies, my opinions on anything in the horse racing world right now. And there have been a lot of things, good and bad. Unfortunately, a little more on the bad side, in my opinion, to talk about in the horse racing world lately. I'll be touching on some of those, but we will have a viewer Q&A a little bit later here in the show. Let me tell you about some very exciting things that I have going on here with the podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube or you're watching a video of this, you'll see on the bottom of the screen the topics. If you are going to be listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, of course, I will mention the topics. Very exciting news. Here we go. Strap yourselves in, folks, because the HHH Racing Podcast is on a roll with some big changes. So, what's happening? First of all, as I bring up the banners on the screen, we have a new sponsor. I'm very proud to announce a new sponsor on the show, BetUS. It's a fantastic betting site. They not only have horse racing on there, they also have casino wagering, they have sports wagering. I have connected myself with BetUS. I use BetUS myself. I have friends that use BetUS. It's a fantastic site. Now, before you start running to that site, feel free to check out the site, but do not sign up yet. I repeat, do not sign up yet because I will have a promo code that I need to give you, and that promo code will lead to some very exciting things that you can get through this show. So again, feel free to go to BetUS and check out the site, and there is an excellent betting website. However, don't sign up yet because I will have a promo code that I'll be giving to you next week or in the next few days, either on Twitter or through email. What's great about BetUS? One of the great things about BetUS is they have fixed odds. How many times have you watched a race, especially for me, Gulfstream lately, where you bet a horse that's like 8-1, right? And that's like 3 minutes to post, and all of a sudden, 2 minutes to post, the horse is 5-1, 4-1. And then the race goes off, and you see on the ticker below 3-1. And you're like, what the hell? I thought the horse was going to be 8-1. No, with fixed odds, you don't have to worry about that. And through BetUS, through this betting platform, you can get fixed odds. So if there's horses that are underlays, for example, they're 10-1 morning line, you'll get that 10-1 morning line, even if the horse goes off at 2 or 3-1. So I will absolutely be using BetUS to bet some fixed odds wagering. You can also bet exactas, trifectas. You cannot do horizontal betting on BetUS, so save your pick threes, pick fours, pick fives, sixes for other ADWs. However, BetUS is fantastic for fixed odds. So I'm going to be using BetUS a lot for my win wagers, especially because I'll get fixed odds on that. And I highly recommend you do also. You can, of course, do sports wagering. You can do casino wagering. But again, do me a favor. Do not sign up for BetUS yet because we're going to be telling you all about that in the next few days or next week because you'll need a promo code for that. So very excited to get BetUS on the docket as one of the sponsors to the HHH Racing Podcast. Next, something we're going to try. I've had some great success the last few weeks with other people. So we are going to try something new. I'm always looking to do different things and gain interest in the show. By the way, the BetUS sponsorship, you need to be a subscriber to my YouTube channel. That's the only catch. You need to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you'd like to be available uh, to be involved with BetUS and to receive a promotion through this show. So again, please make sure you subscribe to the Race Day blog. I'm also going to try something new, as you see on the bottom of the screen. It's going to be, we're calling it the podcast pool, the HHH Racing Podcast pool. It's going to bring, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, it's going to bring podcast viewers together to try to smash pick fours, pick fives, or pick sixes. So what's going to happen? In the last 2 weeks, I've had the pleasure of getting some people together and having some great scores. 2 weeks ago, myself and a few people from Adelphi, we got together. We put together a nice ticket for the pick six at Gulfstream. And you saw it on Twitter if you followed me on Twitter. We hit for over $25,000. And it was a $1,000 bet. So we made times 25 of our money. And I thought, you know what? We got to get more people on the podcast involved with this, right? I mean, the more you pool your money together, the bigger tickets you can play, right? Then last week, and Pete Visco, if you hear this or if you're watching live, please feel free to verify this in the comments. Or if you watch this later, Pete Visco, feel free to send it out on Twitter or comment below the video player. But Pete Visco and I, just together, decided to play the pick six at Aqueduct. We put a ticket together. It was about a $500 ticket. It was very chalky, so we have no control over who's going to win, of course. But it paid over $1,000. I think it paid $1,100, and we more than doubled our money. Okay, it was a very small score, but it was a score nonetheless. So that was another score we had by pooling our money. So here's what's going to happen, folks, and this is going to start next week. Again, the HHH Racing Podcast pool, betting pool, is going to start next week. Here's what's going to happen. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You need to be a subscriber to my YouTube channel, number one. Then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer a certain amount of money. It's probably going to be less than $100. It'll probably be either a $50 buy or a $100 buy, something in that range. I've not fully decided yet. Please follow me on Twitter because I'm going to send it out on Twitter, or email me so I can put you on the email list. So again, this is very important. If you do not follow me on Twitter, email me hkravitzhorse@gmail.com. Again, the information is on the scroll there on the bottom of the screen. And say, Howard, I'd like to be in the email group for the betting pool, for the HHH Racing Podcast pool. I'll put you on my email list. And by the way, this email list, I don't send out annoying emails every day. I send out one email each week for the blog, for the Race Day blog, and then maybe I'll send out one other email. That's it. Like at the most, 1 or 2 emails a week you'll get from me. I do not bother you. I do not harass you. But you either have to follow me on Twitter or you have to follow me through the email list. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, send me an email. Say, Howard, I'd like to be part of this podcast pool. What that will do is I will send out an email probably on Fridays. And if you'd like to be part of this pool, we're going to just pool our money together, folks. Okay, probably increments starting at the lowest is like $25. You have to give me at least $25 up to like 100, and we'll put together $1,000 ticket, maybe $1,500 ticket on a big pick five or pick six or whatever the featured sequence is that week. I'm going to do all the handicapping. Okay. So you're going to have to put some trust in me, folks. I know a lot of people would, like to put in their 2 cents on, are we going to have this horse? Are we going to have this horse? There's got to be some trust here. You're going to put my money in. Again, too many cooks in the kitchen can be a problem. So you're going to send me money through PayPal or Venmo or Zelle. We'll work all that out in the next few days or week. I will send out the HHH Racing Podcast ticket, the pool ticket. I'll send it out to everyone. I'll send a picture out to everyone. I'm very trustworthy. I'm not going to scam anyone. This is not a scam. This is real. And if we win, bam, I will send you right away, probably that day, Saturday or Sunday. I will send you through again PayPal or however we do it. I will send you back your money. I'm very excited to do this. The main reason I want to do this, let's get more people involved. I want more people involved, and I want more people to win. And I want to share my success with you guys. So I will have a part of this ticket also, by the way. So this is not just I'm putting some crazy ticket together and I'm not a part of it. My money will be behind this ticket. So again, if you want to be involved in the podcast pool, either follow me on Twitter or email me hkravitzhorse@gmail.com and just simply send an email say you want to be part of the podcast pool and I will put you on the email list of information. I'm excited about that. Hope you're going to join me in the podcast pool, and I hope that we can crush it. And you'll get more details out on Twitter or through email. Again, if you're watching live, please make sure that you put some comments in the chat about any of these. Does that excite you? Is that something you'd be interested in? Do you want to be involved with like 10, 15, 20 other people that follow the HHH Racing Podcast on a ticket together? Maybe we'll put you on TV and we'll watch the sequence together. That's something I think would be really cool. I know other people do it. Other podcasts have done that in other shows. Have like I can have up to 10 people live on the show. Wouldn't that be cool? We're all watching it live together and we lose or win together. We get people's reactions. I don't know. I think it would be fun. If that's something you'd be interested in, please put it in the comments and let me know. Jimmy, thanks. Jimmy, you're already asking, do I take Bitcoin? I do not, Jimmy. I do not have Bitcoin. That's the one thing I don't have. So, Jimmy, you'll have to send me through. Again, I have PayPal. I know not everyone has PayPal. I believe I have Zelle also, or it might do Venmo. I don't know. It'll either be Venmo, PayPal, or one of those. I do not get involved in Bitcoin. Sorry, Jimmy. You'll have to send it to me another way. But I do appreciate you asking. I hope you're going to get involved in that, Jimmy. All right. So that's the information about our new sponsor, BetUS, and also the podcast pool. Now, I want to do a quick blog recap. You see on the bottom of the screen, if you don't see it, you can hear it. I sent out a race day blog. I don't think enough people are taking advantage of this. And I'm not saying this for selfish reasons. What I want to do is I want to bring up the race day blog from last week. And listen, when I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. You guys know that by now. Let me bring up the race day blog. And you folks can see it on the screen. And I'm going to go full screen here. If you don't, if you belong to, if you're watching the show on Apple Podcasts or you're watching on Spotify, I will explain what I'm showing up on the screen, but you might want to check out the YouTube video. This is my race day blog from last week. A lot of you don't subscribe to the race day blog, so you don't even know what it looks like. It's a 2-page blog. Let me take down the banner at the bottom of the screen here so you can see it a little better. So I go ahead and do that. It's a 2-page blog where I give spot plays and price plays from throughout the country. Some of them I talk about on my show. Some of them I do not. I see we have some comments here real quick. Christine, thank you. Christine, I appreciate it. Christine's asking how I did on the last Gulfstream card. Christine, thanks for asking. We're going to talk about it right now. Full transparency, folks. So you see, my current spot plays are almost 40%, which is frankly very good. Usually anything over 30% is good. You see my grid there. I did not hit the pick 5, full disclosure. The first race, I did not have the 6 of that sequence. I didn't like the 6. The 5 got a horrible ride, frankly, and the pace didn't work out at all. So I didn't hit the pick 5. But the spot plays. Let's talk about the spot plays. War Stopper, the 7, finished in 6th. Got not a great trip. Was a little bit disappointed off the layoff. That didn't work out. He was pretty. I think he was about 6-1, maybe 5-1. That's okay. The next horse I talked about, Giant Game. Giant Game did not run well. However, Giant Game displaced his palate. If you have no idea what that is, basically what that means is he had trouble breathing. He did not run his race. I am not discouraged at all by Giant Game. I'm excited to bet Giant Game back, especially because people are going to see how bad Giant Game was in his last start. He's having a very minor procedure. Literally, it's a procedure that he can do in the barn, in his stall, and he'll be back in no time. I'm assuming Giant Games would come back just fine. So Giant Game, that one didn't work out. Christine asked a question. Is that what we'll get if we join your monthly group? Christine, the race day blog will be part. You'll have an option, Christine, if you belong to BetUS. If you sign up for BetUS, which again I will talk about uh, later, more next week. But if you sign up for BetUS, then you have the opportunity to get a bonus, and we'll talk about that later next week. So again, displaced palette for Giant Game. That one didn't work out. Let's go to the next one. You see Boru there on the screen. I liked Boru quite a bit. Boru came through. Boru won, paid 13.60, ladies and gentlemen, on a $2 bet. Was 5.8 to 1. Stalked the pace, went by in the lane. Fantastic score for us and anyone who belongs to the Race Day blog. Baru won at 5.8 to 1, paid 13.60. So that was very nice for us. Jimmy is asking us what they thinking next for Giants game. I have not heard, Jimmy, where they're going with Giant game next. I'm assuming they're going to go on to the Fountain of Youth or another big stake race. They have not said yet. So I was 1 out of 3. Now you're thinking 1 out of 3, that's not great. Yeah, but if you bet $2 on Warstopper and you bet $2 on Giant Game and you bet $2 on Baru, that's $6, right? We got back 13.60. So you easily made out very well. And I'm going to talk about ROI here in just a minute. Then Tampa Bay, as you can see on the screen, and again, if you can't see, I put out a pick 3 at Tampa Bay because they had 2 really nice stake races, and I thought the pick 3 was an excellent sequence. As you see in race 6 on the screen, there was a horse in race 6 on Saturday in a stake race, a Chad Brown horse, and the name of the horse was called Bleecker Street. Again, it was race 6 on Saturday. Bleecker Street was 5 to 1 morning line. I talked about Bleecker Street on the blog. You can see it there on the screen. I was shocked. Shocked. This horse went off at 7 to 1. Anyone watching the show, do you belong to the Race Day blog? Did you cash on Bleecker Street? I know I cashed. I cashed big time. I had a win bet. I had the try. It was a really nice score for me. Bleecker Street went off at 7 to 1. Paid $16. Another score for the Race Day blog. So we've got a $13.60 horse and we've got a $16 horse. Fantastic. My other spot play that you see was a horse called Cellist in race 8 at Tampa Bay. Got a good enough trip. He was coming off a layoff. I admitted it was a bit of a stab. Didn't love him. I thought it was a bit interesting. He was bet down. And this is why, again, a place like BetUS where you can do um, advanced wagering and you can do fixed odds. You can bet Chalice at 12 to 1. He went off at 6 to 1. Ralph is joining the show. Ralph says yes. Ralph, I'm assuming that means you cashed on Bleecker Street. I believe you did, Ralph, because I think you sent it out on Twitter. So congratulations, Ralph, on cashing on Bleecker Street with me. Chalice, I think, finished 6th or 7th. Ran okay. Only lost by like 4 or 5 lengths. He was coming off a layoff. I took a shot, didn't quite work out. That's okay. Pick 3 did not cash. The middle leg was won by like a 20 to 1 shot that I hated. So as I take this off the screen, here's what happened. I gave out 5 picks on my race day blog. Okay, 5 picks. 2 of them cashed. 2 of them won. 40%. That's really good in the horse racing world. Here's what's better. It's not really about what percent you hit on, folks. It's really about ROI. If you're not familiar with return on investment in horse racing, let me explain. $2. If you are hitting at $2, you're breaking even in horse racing, and frankly, that's not bad. Okay, the average player in horse racing is $1.60. So the average player bets $2 and gets back $1.60. Which means the average player is losing 40 cents on every $2 bet. That's the average player. Okay? By the way, that equates to 20%. So the average player is losing 20% um, every time they bet. That's the average. Of course, I want to try to get above that. Obviously, anything above $1.60 means I'm above average. But for me, I have higher expectations for that. I want to be winning money, so I hope to get above $2. Obviously, I want to have a profitable ROI. So what happened on Saturday? And this is just one example. All right. You can go back. Those of you that belong to the Race Day blog, go back and check it out. Look and see what the horses pay. Because even if you hit only one out of five, you can still have a positive ROI. Most of the time, folks, I'm not giving out. I'm not going to give you a 3 to 5 shot. Anyone can do that. I'm trying to find some medium to bigger prices that'll pay. So of the two horses that won, we got a horse that paid $13.60 and a horse that paid $16. That's a total of $29.60. So if you bet $2 to win on the five horses I gave you, obviously that's $10, right? You bet $10, you get back $29.60. Guys and ladies, if you used the Race Day blog last week, you almost tripled your money. Now, that does not include the pick fives or the pick three. I'll give you that. But again, the pick five and the pick three, you don't have to play that. You don't have to play anything. As my good friend Davey Lane said once on the show, Howard will bring many tasty fruits to the market. And it's your decision on what fruits you're going to pick out of the basket, out of the barrel. So if you don't like my picks or my plays, fine. Don't use them. Completely up to you. I just want to offer my best suggestions. The ROI last week, again, bet $10, got back $29.60. The ROI last week was $5.92. That's right. Last week's ROI in the Race Day blog was $5.92. I will take that any day of the week. So the Race Day blog came through for you if you subscribe to it. For me, again, subscribe to the Race Day blog. I'll show you one more time. There's the information. It's on the screen. If you're listening to this, go to patreon.com, patreon.com /HHH Racing Podcast, one word. Check it out. It's been profitable. It's a good buy. Highly recommend you do that. All right, there is the blog recap. So now I will take the next 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, only 10 minutes, and we're going to end the show. 10 minutes, you can ask me anything you'd like. Anything in the horse racing world, I'm going to leave it completely wide open. Ask me anything at all. We have a lot of people watching the show right now. Feel free. I'm just going to go ahead and talk a little bit and stall to give you a chance to type in any questions. Ask me anything about horse racing, about people in horse racing, horses in horse racing, my opinions. I'll feel free to give you my opinion on anything going on in the horse racing world. As I do that, let me put up the banner on the screen again, and also let me reiterate two exciting pieces of news if you're joining me late today. I have a new sponsor, BetUS. I'm very excited that BetUS will be a sponsor on this show very soon. I will tell you how you can get a promotion not only through BetUS, but through this YouTube channel, this podcast, a free promotion. Do not sign up yet for BetUS. I'll be sending out a promo code where you can find out my connection with BetUS. Also, we have a new HHH Racing Podcast pool. The podcast pool, you do need to follow me on Twitter. Also, subscribe to my Race Day blog. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Or you also need to send me an email and make sure you're on my email list. hkravitzhorse@gmail.com. I'll send out information about our podcast pool. We're going to pool all our money together for pick fives, pick sixes almost every week. Not this week, but almost every week. You'll send me money through PayPal, Zelle, all legit. It's just me. I'm going to put the ticket together. We're all going to share, hopefully, in the winnings. We'll start that next week, the podcast pool. All right, we already have some comments on the screen. Let's see. Ralph has a question. You don't count the money lost on the pick threes. So, Ralph, in terms of, if you're talking about the ROI, Ralph, the ROI is only on the $2 win bets on my price plays or spot plays. So no, I do not publish nor do I talk about the ROIs on my pick threes, fours, or fives on the horizontal plays. The ROI that I just mentioned is only on my $2 win bets. I do not hit 30% on the pick fours or pick fives, especially the pick fives. Pick fives are difficult, but again, and pick sixes are difficult. But when you cash, you got to smash it. Like for example, 2 weeks ago, I hit the pick six for 25,000. I have the ticket to prove it. You can feel free to tweet out Adelphi. You can ask them and Matt Cutair. We crushed it. I have the ticket to prove it. I can send it out to you. I also hit the pick six last week. So no, those ROIs that I mentioned, the $5.92 ROI is only for the $2 win bets in um, my spot plays or my price plays that I put out on the race day blog. We have a question from Wesley Preble. Wesley, thanks for joining the show. I'm not sure I've seen your name. Greatly appreciate it. I've been appointed commissioner of horse racing nationwide. Commissioner Kravitz. I love it. A position that is sorely needed. What are your first three objectives in this newly created position? Wow. Wesley, thank you for the question. Appreciate it. Wesley, the first thing I would do is actually one of the first things we need to do is the rules for the stewards should be the same across all jurisdictions. I want the same rules throughout all jurisdictions when they decide, what horse is taken down or whatnot. I think they should do what they do in the NFL or the NBA. There should be a central office. Anyone that has a question, anyone that has a claim of foul, send it to the main office. They make the decision, send it back to the track. I don't want local people making decisions. Let's have a national uh, decision-making body making decisions on if a horse should be taken down or not. That's it. One place, number one. Number two, let's get fixed odds throughout the whole country. I want fixed odds throughout the whole country. We should be doing it. It's done in Europe and other places. I'm sick of horses that are 8-1, and then 2 minutes later they're 3-1, and I get the 3-1 odds. But again, that's why a place like BetUS that I'm now a sponsor of, and we'll talk about more details next week. That's why you should get involved in that, so we don't have to worry about that. And I would say number three would be the drug situation. We need a drug enforced agency throughout the entire country so we don't have these crazy effing issues where there's horses and we got trainers out there that are using too many drugs on their horses or illegal drugs or whatever. Let's get one body. Again, I don't want separate jurisdictions. Horse racing is trying to do this. They were supposed to have the FDA involved. It went kaput. Now we don't know who that central agency is going to be. That's what we need to do. I see some people mentioning lower takeouts, overlap. There's a zillion things. Lower takeouts, overlapping races going off. Guys, there's a zillion things. But I'd say those would be my top three for sure. Um, the General, 419. Again, I've not seen you on the show. General 419, thanks. Welcome to the show. Would definitely be a good problem to have, but what happens if the podcast pool hits a signer? Great question. So the General, let me talk about a signer. If you're not familiar with signers, folks, the law changed several years ago. The law now is it has to pay over 300-1. If we're putting together a $1,000 ticket, General, that ticket, what's 1,000 times 300? That's what, 3 million, I believe. Let me do the math. 1,000 and three more zero. I think it's 3 million. How many zeros is that? I'm not a math teacher, but you got 4 and 7. Yeah, it's a million. It's a million. It's a million. So if we put together $1,000 ticket, it would have to pay over $1 million for it to be a signer, General. So signers are not a concern. We're not going to have signers because we have a big ticket. Not concerned about that at all. Thank you very much for asking that question. Let's see. Other questions here. Jimmy, yeah, having a lot of success. Listen, this doesn't happen to me all the time, folks. Anyone who's watched me, pick six are very hard. We've been on a roll. We've been doing well. That's why I want to let's have it continue. But the bigger tickets we can play, bigger chance we're going to have to hit the pick six. Just for a few more minutes, folks, I'll take some questions here. Let's see. looking for some other questions here. I saw another good question. Oh, Jimmy, my top horse racing destination. Um, right now, I'd have to say Santa Anita. Santa Anita was just awesome. Keeneland would be a very close second. I've not gone out to the New York. I know it's hard for people to believe. I'm going out to New York and Saratoga for the first time in the summer. The places I've been, Keeneland, Santa Anita, 1A. They're both awesome. Jimmy, love both those places. Um, yeah, let's scoop that pool. I agree, Jimmy. Let's do it. Um, let's see. Other questions I'll have here. Um, Wesley likes the ad stewards idea. Is that a new law that Congress passed going to accomplish some of this? Um, I don't know. I don't think that's going to involve Congress at all. That's going to be involving a lot of people within the horse racing world. That would not be something federal, I don't believe, Wesley. That's something that the horse racing um, powers that be need to come together and do that. Ralph, I'll cash the ticket and charge you 10%. So, Ralph, there's going to be a very, if we cash, I'll talk about this more next week, a very, very, very tiny takeout. And the reason for that is there's a lot of administrative things at my end, Ralph. I've got to collect all the money. I got to send a lot of emails out. Then I have to resend money out. There's just a lot of work on my end. I don't have a secretary. I don't have anyone working for me. It's just me. There's only going to be a very, very minor takeout if we cash. I'm not going to take any extra money at all from anyone by doing all the work and doing all the handicapping and putting the tickets together. I'm not going to take out any extra takeout from anyone unless we actually win. I think that's pretty fair. So um, that's that. Question from High Risk. High Risk, thanks for joining the show. I'm in qualifying for the NHC. I'm trying. I'm working on that high risk. I've talked about it on my show a few times. I'm a bigger fan of the BCBC. The BCBC is on Breeders' Cup Day. I was in the top 10% this past Breeders' Cup. Got up to $25,000 at one point. At one point, I was 13th out of 600 and some people. I really prefer the BCBC because it's not mythical money, it's real money. You're betting real money. You can do win, place, show, exacta, try, doubles. I really prefer the BCBC a lot more than the NHC, frankly. I know the NHC has gotten a lot more pub recently, especially with the controversial DQ and whatnot. But the mythical $2 win in place, not my cup of tea, to be honest. It's a lot of game theory. If you get behind, a lot of people just start picking long shots and just hope that long shots come in. It's not really, to me, the truest, best way to determine who's the best handicapper. And not only my opinion, a lot of other people's opinions. So, yes, I'm going to try to qualify for the NHC, but really, I'm much more interested in qualifying for the BCBC, to be honest. We'll take one more question from Gemini. Gemini, thanks for joining the show. Should I be suspicious of any trainer winning at 40% or more? Yes. That is a very hard and fast yes, Gemini. 40% is ridiculous. I would say, and it's hard to quantify it, a very good trainer, 20%. Maybe 25% if they're spotting the horses real well. 40%, ridiculous. Um, if they're hitting at 40%, they're either putting their horses in the easiest spots possible and paying $3 to win and going off of 3 to 5, or there's something going on. I'm not afraid to say it. No one should be hitting at 40%. That's absolutely ridiculous. It shouldn't be happening. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 6:40. I have a prior engagement that I need to get to. Ralph has one more quick question. Maybe, Ralph, you got about literally 15 seconds to put it up. Sorry, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I got to get going here, Ralph. And Ralph, time's up. Save that question, Ralph. I'd love to answer it. Save that question, Ralph, for next time. I'd really want to answer your question. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Quick and dirty tonight. Next week, again, next Thursday. Up, Ralph, put it up. Ralph, okay, Ralph, you put it up. I don't see it, Ralph. Sorry. Ask me next week, Ralph. Sorry about that. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you join us next week. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be Thursday for sure. Probably 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the regular time. We're going to cover the Saudi Cup with Davey Lane. Wonderful, great guy, punter from the UK. He'll be back to talk with me about the Saudi Cup and also the stake races at fairgrounds. They have many of them. It's Louisiana Derby Preview Day. I'm not sure who the guest will be for that, but it's going to be fantastic there at the fairgrounds. We're going to cover the Pick 5 there. This has been Howard Kravitz. A lot of great news. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Make sure you email me to be a part of our podcast pool. Subscribe on the Race Day blog. Subscribe on YouTube. I've got a new sponsor. We've got a new pool, podcast betting pool going. A lot of stuff happening. Please join the show. We want to welcome all new viewers in. This has been episode 112 of the HHH Racing Podcast. I've been your host, Howard Kravitz. Thank you for joining me. Look forward to seeing you next week as we talk about Louisiana Derby Preview Day and the Saudi Cup. Take care, everyone. Have a great night.